Hey everyone, happy Friday afternoon. Hopefully my internet connection will hang tight because it took me a long time to connect. It's out here spinning and spinning and spinning. But I hope you guys had a great Friday. I am getting ready to hop in the shower for the Sabbath because it starts really soon. But I wanted to come live real fast and chat with you this afternoon because I like coming on before Shabbat starts. It kind of ends my day, ends my week in a good, positive way. So I figured I would pop in. And I wanted to ask a question today, and that is about how do you make your decision? Are you primarily someone who makes a decision based on emotion, based on, like just how you feel about something? Or do you make a decision based on thought process and thinking through things through and sometimes we're overthinkers. I'd love to hear from you if you want to stick it in the comments as to how you make a decision, whether you're an emotional decision maker and ride everything off of emotion, or whether you are a thought, whether you think through everything, thought process, sometimes an overthinker, or if you're somewhere in between, which the truth is, I think we all strive to be somewhere in between. But we tend to be one way or the other with a lot of people that I talk to. It's one way or the other. And I know I can go from one extreme to the other, to be truthful. And I had this situation come up yesterday and today, and I had a situation come up that something happened and I was not happy with what was going on. And it was a very emotionally charged situation. And I don't want to give too many details because I don't want to out anybody. It doesn't really matter. But I was very emotionally charged. And it was one of those things that sort of hit at the heartstrings, what was happening. And I felt that the way the situation was playing out was not really fair to several people involved. And I'm someone who looks at that and looks at what is fair, what is just, what is right, which I think a lot of us do. And I was very much, my gut instinct said, no, this can't happen, this can't happen, this can't happen, because it wasn't fair. And hey, Marcia. And it was something that I was really struggling with, and I was going back and forth, and I was leaning into my community and leaning into some of my support system and saying, okay, guys, this is what's going on. Because I knew I was emotionally charged. I knew that this decision that I was making was being made off of emotion and not off of logic. And I really like to make decisions off of logic. I happen to be a very big problem solver. So I was going around and around and around in circles with a couple of people who were trying to help me talk through this yesterday. And I finally said, I had a decision made yesterday, and it was very much an emotionally charged decision. And I actually use stop, challenge, choose, which I talk a lot about when it comes to food, but it fits everything that we do. I said to myself, okay, this is a stop, challenge, choose moment. Stop. Think about it. What is this decision that you're making? Why are you making this decision? Is it just based on emotion? How are you feeling? I asked myself all these questions. And the truth was I couldn't come to an answer to it last night because like I said, I was very emotionally charged. So the person that I had to give an answer to, I actually stopped and I said to this person, I said, you know what? Let me sleep on it. Let me think about it. Let me get some space, because I knew that I couldn't respond just off of emotion. But the truth is, in my old bad habits, when I start to respond just off of emotion, you know what ends up happening? I end up in the kitchen eating stupid things that I shouldn't be eating, because I'm very much an emotional person. And I am very much, when I'm emotionally charged, that is my go-to. So that was also where I had to use stop, challenge, choose yesterday, was no, I don't want this stuff. And by going in the kitchen and eating things that I shouldn't be eating is not going to solve the other problem. It is not how I'm going to come up with the solution to my other problem. It's going to make me feel worse. It's going to mean that I'm going to get up the next morning and get on the scale today and not be happy. Or I'm going to get up this morning and feel gross because I ate a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't be eating. So that's where emotion plays in for so many of us. Especially, those of us who struggle with emotional eating, those of us that struggle with letting our emotions control us. And it's something that I really have to work on. And I saw it just reared up last night big time when I just had this spark of emotion. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of other things. And this just sort of hit that nerve. Have you ever had that, where it just hits that final last nerve and you're like, ah? That's where I was last night. And I recognized it. I was able to stop and say, no, I'm not in a good place to make this decision. The decision that I'm going to make is not going to play out well. if I do it from this place of emotion. It didn't mean that my decision was going to change, but I had to come from it from a different place. And so I said to the person who was asking for the decision, I said, can I tell you in the morning? Can I sleep on this? And of course they said, sure. It wasn't a big deal whether I told them last night or whether I told them this morning. And the truth was, after getting a good night's sleep and really being able to think through it, I woke up this morning and I went, bing, light bulb went off. And I had a solution to the problem that was not an emotionally charged solution because I had just taken some time to step back from the situation, to let those emotions, we want to feel the emotions. When you're an overly emotional person, or even not overly emotional person, when you are an emotional person and you respond out of emotion and you're an emotional eater and you want to allow yourself to feel those emotions. Don't suppress your emotions. Whatever those are, allow yourself to feel them. Allow yourself to feel the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the happiness, the joy, the anxiety, whatever that is that's going on with it. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to process it because it's real. And if you try to stuff it down, then it just rears up even worse. And that's when we end up doing silly things like eating things that we shouldn't be eating, or at least that's what I end up doing. And I could see that. And I'm telling you, 3.5 years ago, I would not have been able to see it. I would have made this decision solely on emotion and it would have been over. And the truth is, that decision wasn't the right decision. Sometimes the emotional decision is the right decision, but that emotional decision would not have been the right decision last night. But when I was able to take a step back, give myself some distance. Sorry, my phone was ringing. When I'm able to give myself some distance from it and take a step back, I'm then able to come up with a solution, which this morning when I woke up and I was able to think about it with a clear head and not off of emotion, all of a sudden, ding, 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 I had a solution. And the truth is the solution was a really good one and really benefits a whole lot of people. Where I was afraid with my decision before was going to hurt a bunch of people. Now, not hurt them, but maybe not make them so happy. Definitely wasn't going to benefit. Now the solution that I came up with was one that was going to help everybody that was involved. And it was something that I could feel really comfortable with. And so I want to throw this out to you as you're going into things. Really stop and ask yourself, how do I make my decisions? Do I make a decision based off of emotion? Or do I make a decision based off of logic? The majority of the time, not always, but the majority of the time. Or am I such an overthinker that I have trouble coming to a decision? That's also another issue. And let's find it and look at it and figure out what it is. And if you're not sort of in that middle balance, then maybe it's time to take a step back and say, okay, how can I adjust this? Because you feel so much better. I felt so much better all day today once that decision had been made off of logic and not off of the emotion that I was feeling last night. So I hope this is helpful because I know that there are so many people who, like me, are emotional and run off of emotion only or solely, or primarily, not solely, but primarily, and where those emotions take us straight to bad habits, whether it's food or any other of our vices. And so I hope this is helpful. If you would like to talk through it, if you're having a situation that you feel like you are running solely off of emotion and you want to run it past me, please feel free to reach out. I would love to chat with you. And hopefully this resonates. I would love feedback if this resonates with you. Have a great night. I am going to go hop in the shower really quickly because the Sabbath is starting in like 15 minutes, maybe not even that much time. And I got to get showered and get started. So have a great day. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow night. Bye.